Good morning, students. Today we start with lesson 7. Gulliver arrives in Lilliput. And this story is written by Jonathan Swift. Now, this passage is an adaptation of an excerpt from the famous novel Gulliver Travels, written nearly 300 years ago by Jonathan Swift. Now, this is a extract taken from there. It's not the full story of Gulliver Travels, it's one of the portion of that book. And it was written around 300 years ago. Now, travel books were popular at that time, and this incredible story describes the strange and fantastic travels of Lemuel Gulliver to different lands. Now, these are about all the Gulliver travels where he was in the sea, wherever the ship stopped, he used to explore that land. So, this is about Lemuel Gulliver. Now, I was the youngest of 5 brothers and had to leave school at the age of 17 because my father could not afford to pay my school fees. Now, there were 5 brothers and he was the youngest. And at age of 17, he had to leave school because father could not afford the school fees. It was decided that I should take up the life of a seaman, and so it was that I went aboard the Antelope, which was sailing out to the South Seas. The ship set sail from Bristol in May 1700. Now, his father said, now you become a seaman. Seamen are who go on ships. So he said, now you be that. And he went on a ship called Antelope. And that ship was sailing South Seas. And they started in May 1700. And from the place, Bristol. Now, during the beginning of the journey, we enjoyed good weather, but on the way to the East Indies, we were caught up in a great storm and choppy seas. Now, when they started their journey, it was all peaceful, nice, weather was good, water was safe. But as they were going towards the East Indies, the rough weather started and there were great storms and the sea was in a rough way. Like too much of tides were there, high and low. Manning the ship, now controlling and operating the ship was very difficult because the ship was moving up and down with hard work, and a dozen of our men died either because of the work overload or the poor rations that were doled out to us. Now, there were many people on the ship, but around 12, they died because of the hard work they were doing or because of the poor rations that were given to them to eat. Now, blown off course by strong winds, we found ourselves somewhere north of Van Diemen's Land. The next morning, lashed by heavy rain, the Antelope struck rock and foundered. Now, as the ship was still moving, and there was like too much of this storm was there, and heavy rain started. So this Antelope, it struck a rock and it foundered. Foundered means filled with water and it sank down. 6 of us crewmen managed to escape from the wreck in a lifeboat. Now all like they were dead or they were drowned, but 6 of them saved because they took the help of the lifeboats. So great was the force of the gale that the boat capsized. Now, the force of the gale. Now, gale is a very strong wind. Now, and the boat capsized. It overturned and went deep into the sea. I had no idea what happened to the other 5, but I managed to survive. Now, Gulliver doesn't know what happened to the other 5 fellows, but he survived. As I floated on the water, washed by wind and sea, I felt sure that I was going to die. My legs gave way under me, and to my great surprise, I found I could stand up in the water. I walked on and on before I go to dry land, and then some more, searching for a house or someone who could help me. Now, as he was walking in the water, then some land started, and he thought, now, thank God I am saved. And as he was walking, he said he may find a house or some person who could help him. But suddenly, I was completely exhausted. Now, exhausted means that he was so tired, dead tired. I collapsed. Now he fell down, beta, because of this hard, because he was walking in the water, and he was thinking that he would die, but God saved him on the short, soft grass and fell into a deep sleep. Now, beta, there was very soft grass around, and he fell there and he was in deep sleep. It was daylight when I woke up and found I could not move. Lying on my back, I discovered that my arms and legs were tied down to the ground with strings. My long hair was held down in the same way, and thousands of strings crossed my body and held me to the ground. I could not move. Now, next morning when he got up, beta, he could not move an inch because his whole body was tied with strings. The rope, just see in the picture how he was tied, and just see these tiny people around him. So they tied even this hair. He could not move his head, his body, arms, legs, everything was tied down. All I could do lying on my back was to look up in the sky. Now he could not turn anywhere, so he was just gazing at the sky. The warm, bright sunlight began to hurt my eyes, and at the same time, I could hear noises around me. Soon I felt something climb onto my foot and start moving up my body. It came up near my face. Turning my eyes downwards as far as I could see, I was amazed to see a tiny little man. He was not more than 6 inches tall and appeared to be dressed as a soldier. Then another 40 men like him climbed on to me and looked into my face. Now, when he was just seeing that some tiny creature, like 6 inch man, was there, and around 40 of them had climbed on his body and they were just looking at him. Surprised, I gave out a great scream. The little men then ran off in fright, and as they jumped off my body, some of them were injured. Then one of the little men, braver than the rest, climbed back onto my body and looking into my face, he threw up his arms and in a clear voice shouted something. Now, beta, he screamed. When Gulliver saw so many small tiny men on his body, so he screamed. When he screamed, they just ran and some fell off the body and they got even hurt. But one was a very brave fellow. So he came back and he was looking at his face and he was speaking something which Gulliver could not understand. Others took up his cry, but of course I could not understand what they meant. Now they were not speaking his language, they were speaking their own language which Gulliver could not understand. After straining very hard, I managed to tear open the strings and free one arm. Now he was very powerful, just see the size of Gulliver like a giant. So he could just free one of his arm. I also managed to raise my head, which gave me great pain as many of my hairs were torn off. Now he tried to even lift his head, but many of his hair were torn off because they were also tied down. I reached out to catch some of the little men, but they were too quick for me and ran off. Then I felt as if 1,000 needles were pricking my hand and discovered that the little men were shooting arrows at me. Now, after some time, he saw that some pricks were there on his body. And when he saw that little men were shooting arrows at him. The arrows were no larger than the size of pins. Now they were small pins, but when some of them hit me in the face, it was very painful. Fearing that some arrows may penetrate my eyes, penetrate means go deep inside, I put my hand across my face to protect them. I then decided that my wisest strategy means plan, would be to lie quite still till nightfall. Now he thought to himself that I should not move because once I'll move, they're going to kill me. I could then easily and quickly free myself. I had no cause to fear these little people if they were no larger than what I had already seen. Now 6-inch person with a small ruler size. So what could they do to such a big man? But it was not to be. When the little men saw that I had calmed down, they stopped shooting at me. However, by the increased clamor, I realized that their numbers had become greater. Now, clamor means a sound, loud sounds were coming. So now he thought that now they are not 40, they are more in number. Hearing a sound near my ear, I turned my head and saw that some of the little men were erecting a platform about 18 inches high. Now, because some of them, they were building a platform, and that was just 18 inches high. Sorry, beta. When the platform was completed, four of the little men got up on it. One of them, who appeared to be older and somewhat higher than the other three, wore a beautiful cloak which was held up off the ground by a tiny little boy standing behind him. Now, beta, four climbed. One was very well dressed up like a king. So the man in the cloak said something in a clear, loud voice, and immediately a large group of the little folk came around near my head and cut the remaining strings that held my hair down. I could now see the people on the platform clearly. Sorry, beta. Now, beta, he could see that that man ordered something, and then the people, those tiny people, they started cutting the strings of the hair. The man in the cloak, who must have been one of their leaders, made a long speech, and although I could not understand what he said, I managed to follow what he was saying as he waved his arms. Follow here means, beta, not to go behind, but to understand. So, beta, he said something in his own language, which Gulliver could not understand, but he was trying to follow something, trying to understand a little what he was saying as he waved his arms. So he was waving his arms and he was trying to say something about in a sort of sign language. Now he was talking in a sign language. I presume that he was telling me what I would not be harmed if I did as I was told, but if I tried to break free, they would kill me. Now with the sign language, he was trying to understand that that man was telling him with signs that don't move. If you will move, then we would kill you. I gestured that I understood what he meant and remained quiet. Now he gave a sign language reply that yes, what you are saying, I am understanding. But then I realized I had nothing to eat for a great many hours and put my hand to my mouth to show I wanted to eat. Now he's thought now how to convey his feelings. So he said, of so many hours I have not eaten anything. So he made a sign that he wanted to eat something towards his mouth. The leader seemed to understand what I wanted and turned to the little folk and gave some orders. Now the leader understood that he needed something to eat, so he ordered his people. Almost immediately about 100 men marched up to my face carrying food, which had been sent to me by their king as soon as he had heard of my arrival. I did not know what the food was, hence the size of beans, loaves of bread, which I ate 2 or 3 at a time. The wee folk emitted cries of surprise that I could eat so much so quickly. Now, beta, wee means very small, tiny sounds. So, beta, now they were surprised to see how he was eating. He was gulping down. He was just taking three breads together and eating. Beta, when you and me eat, we take slice of bread, one slice, two slices. Now he was eating the full bread, and hence was size of beans. And they were so surprised that he is eating so much and that also so quickly. I then indicated that I wanted to drink something. Now he made another sign that now he wants to drink something. A large number of men carried a great pot of milk and poured it into my mouth. I asked for another pot of milk and they brought it. But when I called for a third, they made signs that there was no more. I had drunk all the milk in the country. Now, beta, just see in the picture also, beta, such a big barrel of milk they are getting. And he had two, but when he asked for the third time, they said no. In the whole land of Lilliput, it is finished. Milk is over. After this generous meal, sleep descended upon me. That was my first day in Lilliput. Now, beta, after that generous meal of loaves of bread, hens, then milk, then beta, his stomach was full, so he had a sound sleep. And that was his first day in Lilliput. Beta, this description of the lesson is the first day which Gulliver spent in Lilliput. So I hope beta you have understood the lesson. So just go through the lesson. Thank you.